So, alles klar. Das steht und das steht. Ein Moment. Okay. Ich glaube, lautstärkenmäßig sollte alles funktionieren. Jetzt muss ich noch das richtige Bild einstellen. Und voila. Und so, jetzt aber stumm. So, bitte PlayStation, mach die nicht aus. Und jetzt hoffen wir mal, dass das Ganze auch klappt. Ah, und die Qualität nicht schlechter wird. Das ist vor allen Dingen der Fokus heute. Oh, ich habe mir gerade sehr weh getan. Oh Gott, verdammt. Ah, okay. Sound ist auch nicht gut. Weiterhin. So. Ist ein bisschen her. Ist ja ein bisschen her. Oh mein Gott, ich wusste kurz nicht, ob ich das Spiel vielleicht deinstalliert hatte. Oh Gott. NieR! Es ist wieder Zeit für NieR. Es ist endlich Zeit für die B-Route. So. Dann kann ich das ja für mich ein bisschen lauter machen. Ich denke mal, das ist für euch wahrscheinlich auch ziemlich leise. Nein, nein, nein. Ach Gott, ich hasse Computer. Ich hasse sie so sehr. Na, geht. Haben schon ihre Vorteile. So. Okay. So, zuletzt hatten wir uns mit Jonas zusammen auf das Ende der A-Route begeben. Dieses tatsächlich sogar nach einer Ewigkeit erreicht. Und jetzt ist es Zeit zu sehen, was ein grausamer Mensch ja doch eigentlich sind. Oh yeah! Gotta be fun. Fällt gerade ein, mein letzter Stream allein ist, glaube ich, auch schon wieder ein bisschen her. Let's fucking go.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway...
Oh no, das hatte ich vergessen! Oh nein, das hängt damit. Oh. Ja, heute werden wir wohl vielleicht auch nicht so viel erreichen. Ich habe ganz vergessen, dass die B-Route so anfängt. Ja, okay. Na dann. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to well like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on, come on! The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the rain slowly creaked to life. Sekündchen, kann ich eigentlich auch so machen? Moment. Genau. Moment. Oh, Windows gibt mir nicht die Möglichkeit. Oh, Windows. Da hatte Linux mal einen Vorteil. Okay. Spinning this way. And that, for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the rain could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no! They found me! A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Juhu! Keine! The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaini struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaini's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaini turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaini knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaini was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, weak! Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong. Be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt Oh, look! The little freak's is the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? I understand that everyone hates you and he wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Demon's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Demon's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. Old meat? Spicy. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. Yeet! She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against the eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give the freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go. Freak! Chanted the children. Freak! 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 Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Okay, es tut mir leid, es tut mir leid. Oh Gott, weiter. Only when the laughter of the tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Blood-caked? Okay, wusste ich gar nicht, dass man das so sagt. Blood-caked eye! Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no saber emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, the attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick, very thick, for wage. That's like a bitch, done it. Now I'd suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. So, jetzt muss ich kurz testen, ob das vom Sound wirklich passt. Ich bin da sehr nervös. Bis it out ging. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she grounded her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth.
Oh! Ow!
he screamed, leaping to his feet.
Stop it! What are you doing?
Quit whining. Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch.
You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch! A big one! That thing could have killed me!
The old woman shrugged.
That is the best cure for stupid.
Demon's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground.
Get out! Leave this village! No one wants you here! I love you!
Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demon and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh.
Ha! Look at that fat boy go! Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight.
The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead.
Oh, Kaine, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot.
The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away.
Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore.
Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below.
Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead.
As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hand on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away.
Don't talk like that, girl.
Oh, fuck. Da habe ich gerade noch Geräusche gemacht.
Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt to cross it. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand?
The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice.
You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it.
As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and the first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her.
Do I make you sick, Grandma? Course not. Don't be an ass.
Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered.
But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, the mom and dad wouldn't...
Hush, interrupted Grandma.
I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell.
With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking their stems or losing a single petal was remarkable,
and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! These are Luna tears! Grandma, you made this for me! Oh my god!
Luna tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath.
Wreath? When you say a wreath, as if she couldn't believe it was real. But where did you find these?
Just stumbled on them
while I was out doing the shopping.
The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers.
Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Course you are! What a fool thing to say! Thank you, Grandma. Her grandma smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we got each other, we'll just be fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began to long walk home, Kaine gripped her hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough, even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Kaine's dreams daily life. Das geht noch weiter! In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe! Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma! Called Kaine. That you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine, close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she'd scowled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted. Grandma! Do you need help? I can get you your water, or lunch, or a new axe or something. The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, and then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of shopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get war? War. Shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of the bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and their granddaughter. And where were the days when any but the two of them could be found on a rocky acre of land they called home? Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a thin crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Crap.
Kälter sind euer Getränk. Pisst pur warm ist. God. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, paused it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide open, Kaine dropped the axe and went to their grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket! Can't let it spill! Kaine steadied the bucket with her foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress. But Kaine didn't notice. Grandma! Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and pulled Kaine away. Warum rede ich auf einmal so? Was ist los? Stop that! Just stop! She cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took a wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what she seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade. Or worse, Dimo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. Hey lady, said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. Where's Oh, ich hasse dieses Wort. Moment, ist es Apothecary oder muss Apothecary. Oder ist es ganz anders? Wo ist der Arzt? The woman's flabby cheeks shook in wild anger. How dare this thing speak to me, they seemed to say. But Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the Arzt! But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found.
Oh my god,
He sputtered,
what are you doing here, freak?
The insult was delivered without force, and Kindly happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication.
Ha!
Barked Demo.
The old bitch riding the keel over.
Go to hell, Demo! The boy's eye grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch,
The arts!
told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kindly under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny balls filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable Nee, ich hatte es auch beim ersten Mal richtig! Indecipherable. Ich hätte es im ersten Mal lassen sollen. Oh mein Gott. Indecipherable language. Und das indecipherable language. So. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety... Ich kann nicht mehr viel vorlesen! Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kindly a sense of peace. Surely, in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall, behind the counter, rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors. But time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You like the picture? Kindly turned to find the arts with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now. Kindly didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things, continued the shopkeeper. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kindly and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw. Kindly took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard rumors about you, he said. It's a small village, and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe. But I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali? Thought Kindly suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the artist's hands. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine, he said as Kindly scooted away yet again. And I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kindly murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kindly returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kindly to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm.
Back already, are ya?
Asked the grandmother with a yawn.
Come here, let me have a look at you.
Grandma sat up and examined Kindly from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax.
Hey, well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was kinda fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Funny? Asked the grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed the grandmother that she was going to sketch a portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Oh shit, said her grandma, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of the house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, you know, make drawing easier or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said between laughter, you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the art, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at a portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked the grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory. A perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Kaine's dreams. Separation. Oh mein Gott, wie lange sind wir schon dran? Fast eine Stunde nur am Vorlesen. Yikes. Okay. Let's go. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on the plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat that bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's a bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, sure looks like a bug, said Kaine, and I think it's burned or something because it smells terrible. With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's the fact. 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, the relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burnt berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma. Suddenly, Kaine looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was gonna check out the calma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a box in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing a toothless grin to the world. "Goddamn, girl. If a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the calma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face. For a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately, it seems my mind is—" She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to a nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're gonna be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chat about shades and building defensive walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough. Goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it! What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she'd ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just..." Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. "Listen," she began, "maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your food and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you." Kaine rolled her eyes, and then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself. But in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looks old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell down from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick, black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with her finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. Oh no. Oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma! Grandma! Kaine ran then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling to the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's the dark! It's the dark! Not just fire! Can't be fire! Too much smoke! Gotta save her! Gotta save her! She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicion confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large, armored tail. Scales, horn, and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then, the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time, Kaine responded with a scream of her own. "Alright, you bastard!" she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. "It's you and me! Let's go!" The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest, and then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced towards the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. "Grandma!" At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. "She's alive!" thought Kaine. "Alive!" Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. "Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now!" As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped towards her house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet, only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring this pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. "Grandma, hold on, just a little longer." Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its core. "Bastard, laughing at us." She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. "Yeah, I see a plan." The shade moved its claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. "I'm gonna kill this bastard." Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle. as the foot twisted backward. But she forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back!" she screamed. "Give her back to me!" It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Das Internet stimmt auch langsam. Oh Gott. Kaine never had the chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing through the burning wreckage to the home. Of the home. As she lay on the ground, with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. "Kaine?" Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on that sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. "Grandma! Kaine! You got one. You can't best this one." Kaine grabbed their hands and held on with all her strength. "Grandma! Come on! We have to go!" The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped down to the ground below. "Grandma! No! No! I said run, goddammit! You have to live! You have to live! You have to get through!" The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and wet. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth, and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept toward its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose, as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles, her head lolled dangerously to the side. Yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if the spoken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a mad woman. She leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. "Is that blood?" "Think it is. Think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live." Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. "Kill it, kill 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 it. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it." Oh, und ganz viel kill it hoch 10. "Kill it now!" As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt a desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Oh mein Gott, ich muss überlesen! Oh. Ich so sorry, aber ich bin
dann mitlesen.
The beast approaches. Oh, I know.
Let's go! Wie spielt man das Spiel nochmal? Okay. Müssen wir ausweichen? Okay, genau. Starker Angriff, leichter Angriff.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It
Ah.
dies today.
Again!
The sword is lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Ja, easy, mach ich. Ach! Ja, genau, das Problem. Habe ich das Spiel auf einfach gestellt, versehentlich? Vibration. Ich hätte überlegt, ob ich das Spiel auf einfach stelle, um jetzt durchzukommen, aber nee, ist ja eigentlich... Muss ich nachher gucken. Sieht mir aber ganz danach aus. Das kann nicht so einfach sein. Das kann nicht so einfach sein. Ne. Oh ja, let's hit it! Kann ich über den Rest des Streams nicht mehr reden. Das ist auch ein bisschen viel. Pop it! Nice. Keine Streams. Oh Gott, damn it! Okay, gib mir eine kurze Sekunde, meine Energie zu fassen. Das hatte ich nicht bedacht. Das ist jetzt schon wieder... Ich dachte, da kam ja noch was, das wusste ich, aber... Jetzt schon? Okay. Gently. Weakly. Softly. The shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final war. Couldn't kill it. Shamed beyond imagining, Connie tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the woods of her home, and noticed a wrecked stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Also, heh! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the Arzt, materializing from the wounds like a ghost. I want to draw you, that way you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. Want to join our dear.
I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of a grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop! Now! Don't hurt the picture! Don't hurt that picture, man! Kaine reached out with his remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To his surprise, the insects fell off the picture and to the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned a good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The artist smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his stick. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. I look like that? Oh God. Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you gotta wish sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish? Like a prayer or something? Why don't you get one on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me! Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. I make wishes, they don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. God, you are the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but the remaining arm would no longer be spawned. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot searing pain it left in its wake, whatever else might be happening. She was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go! Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine! You're ready to give up? Ready to die? So why not let me have it? Have what? Your body! Come on, give it to me! Give it to me! I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind! The voice paused, as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use it to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood just like before. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. Wow! Jesus! The moment it touched her brain. Oh God! Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now, give me the body. Come on, give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side. As she watched it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop! Stop! She whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop! The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. What the hell, Sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal! I thought you wanted to die. Grandmother said, can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter. Then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Ah, fuck, war vorhin das Bild eigentlich sehr unscharf? So pixelig, fällt mir gerade ein. Darauf hätte ich achten können. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern, the pattern of the shades, burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are gonna be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the latter seemed ready to puncture her skin and began infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop, gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Pleaded. Hey, it's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry. Let it go, feel the anger, burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood, then go out there and... Shut up! Shut up, get the hell out of my body! Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those bodies of yours on the area would love to see her dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade infected portion of her side. Before she could, her dark left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on the bone filled the air. You stupid idiot girl! You're possessed now, Sunshine! And there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me? We got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait, what? We'll wait till Well, wait. Will they get a load of you now? Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller, somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen, heard the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine. And now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you wanna kill? I can make it happen. The little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap him up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. Wait, what? Said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What you think? I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snub? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, honeypants. I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part. If you don't want. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Screamed the voice. Look at you go! Oh, sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tywin, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart returns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said, yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find the shade, and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tywin. Count on it. Ha! Laughed Tywin. I shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, you know, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, and then waved her new left arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. It feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at her new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I am Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain wet-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was a wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland petals were as bright as ever. Kaine decided to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I don't deserve this big Toblerone. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn, and the people of the area arose to their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world.
Alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Oh, hey. Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Stell dir mal vor, ich hätte all das vorgelesen, wenn ich stumm war. Oh Gott.
I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Shit,
5 years!
that's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great.
So, das war's jetzt
Kylie
wirklich.
waking from her long petrified sleep.
Mit Vorlesung. Bei wie viel Zeit sind wir denn jetzt?
Neil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion
Über
was a
eine
happy
Stunde.
one. We let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Oh no! Oh Gott!
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious.
Please try to understand. People are tired and scared, and
This
Ja,
is
okay,
crap.
ne?
You know it.
Jetzt muss ich gucken.
It's
Da ist jetzt
okay.
auf jeden Fall der
We can sleep outside.
Playthrough B.
No one's sleeping outside.
Und Jonas meint, die neuen Cutscenes und alles. Also auch alte Cutscenes sind leicht verändert, ne? Also
You
möchte
and
ich jetzt
Kylie
überspringen.
saved this village, and now they want to run you out.
Unbedingt. Aber vieles davon wird jetzt natürlich
People
sich
are
bekannt
afraid of us.
anfühlen.
And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As
Look
long
at him
as you're
go.
still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But
We'll see you later.
sorry about this.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
Sleepy go bye-bye.
I didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades.
Oh, ist das warm!
Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola?
Ja, richtig gute Leute, das wissen wir.
In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
Oh, ich sie. Ist er lila?
I should apologize to Kaine and Emil, but what good would that even do?
I got a fire going. Kaine.
Wait, is that...
Campfires are weird.
Das ist, glaube ich, zum Beispiel eine neue
I'm so
Szene.
happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
Aber wie fällt
I
das
tried
auf?
everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Nani?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Ah, bitte, nicht nochmal vorlesen.
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is... different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was. No matter how bad things got, she gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession and my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay, can we just forget I told you about that?
I feel great today. No cough, no fever. Watch out, world, because Jonah's coming out to play. Sorry.
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popel.
Very well.
So, was haben wir hier denn alles? Ach ja, Kreis muss ich drücken. Bisschen Geld. Seed.
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I've not heard you speak much about your mother.
Ein Tagebuch. Hey,
She got
guck
the
mal.
black scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, here, take a look.
Say there, can you not hear me?
Oh no, shit the fuck!
Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is
Daddy!
a talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Ich
Right.
muss
Let's go.
das Thumbnail ändern, auf jeden Fall. Oh mein Gott, es ist der NieR! Oh mein Gott, es ist der NieR! Guckt ihn euch an! Dieser hässliche Bastard! Man kann es nicht mal so sehr sehen. Sein Gesicht, sie haben ihn schöner gemacht, glaube ich. Ja, die Maske nicht an, dann wird man es sehen. Okay, sure, why not? Ich bin amazing. This is the world of the recycled vessel, created to avoid the destruction of all. Oh, interessante Farben. Ah, ich wollte speichern, gucken, ob der Spielverleger vielleicht gestellt ist. Da war ja was. Okay, das kenne ich absolut nicht. Das war ja, glaube ich, irgendwie nur DLC für die Version. Ich weiß nicht, ob es in unseren Lande dann überhaupt, ob wir die wirklich hatten. Ich bin mir halt echt nicht sicher. Aber es gab sie auf jeden Fall wohl auch schon im Originalen. 360 und PS3 Version. Okay, jetzt sind die Kleiniger. Und sie machen mir jetzt schon wieder richtig Probleme. Oh mein Gott, sie machen mir richtig Probleme. Für die Kleinen kann ich das dann noch nicht machen müssen. Oh Gott! Dieser Damage! Eine sehr interessante Version von diesem Lied. Okay, komm her. Oh! Das sieht nicht gut aus.
Oh, wir haben nicht mal so ganz tipptopp, was die Items angeht. Oh, die droppen mir wahrscheinlich nämlich auch nicht. Wie sieht's denn mit meinen Worten aus? Weapons. Ich hatte da, glaube ich, vorher was geändert, nämlich. XP. XP. Physical Strength, MP Recovery Weight. Die Waffe, die ich benutze. Was ich aber mal machen könnte. Ich scheiße auf die 15% Attack Power. Und pack hier Item Drop Weight rein. Kann ich das auch woanders reinpacken? Ne. Ne, sieht nicht danach aus. Und bei Magic? Da noch bei Magic machen. Ah, das reicht schon, glaube ich. Ich will jetzt kein seltenes Item, das ist so für später Leben oder so. Oh, das war's. Ich sehe jetzt schon, das wird nicht gut enden. Töte sie doch! Emil, heil mich! Emil, komm in diese Welt und heil mich! Okay. Ja, der Flap ergibt echt keinen Sinn, glaube ich, so jetzt mehr. Wenn wir jetzt hier sowieso Deadly haben, wollen wir auch noch ein bisschen anpassen. Bist du? Geht alle weg von mir! Ich wollte schon wieder mit Kreis ausweichen. Ach, 3-0. Ich guck mal, ob die Erfahrungspunkte geben. Nein, gar nicht. Stellt mir eine neue Frage, warum bekämpfe ich sie überhaupt? Ah! Oh, ich hasse dich. Oh, Jesus. Aha. Ich kann nicht sehen. Okay, aber easy. Machen wir. Oh, geh weg! Oh, das ist doch alles so furchtbar gerade. Oh Gott, ich hab's doch geschafft. Wow, was? A black scroll, a lost test, a white book, a false truth. Could we not? Really, could we not? Dieser Filter tut auch in meinen Augen, glaube ich, ein bisschen weh. Ja, können wir mal wieder so machen. Keine Map. Muss ich überhaupt bekämpfen? Sie geben mir keine Erfahrungspunkte, sie geben mir keine Items. Ja, ich komme nämlich. Es gibt keinen anderen Weg sonst. Okay. Bis wir sterben. Ich halte mich jetzt einfach nicht. Und ich habe also nicht Kreis statt R1 gedrückt zum Ausweichen. Ja, yeah, das war cool. Glaube ich. Ah.
My word.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Aber Danny ist da. So, saven mal eben. Moment, was das steht auf Difficulty? Weiterhin hart. Okay.
I fear the next card fate holds for us.
Hey,
Oh, I kind of thought you'd never talk to us again.
I understand you're doing this.
Pretty
Wir
much.
machen das, ja. Da hatten wir.
Oh, I'm
Yeah?
sorry about yesterday.
You don't need to let Emil and Kaine know that we're sorry, alright?
All right.
So, und ich glaube, jetzt könnte ich so gesehen auch noch durchlaufen, ohne Quests zu machen, aber ich kann mich ja trotzdem schon mal drauf konzentrieren. Ja, irgendwie wird das schon. Irgendwie wird das alles schon passen. Ne? Die Enten kriege ich schon. So, lass ich raten. Hast ein Amulett gefunden oder so, ne? Hab ich mal gehört. Hallo.
Popola?
Oh,
Popola,
Look,
hello. Tut mir
stop.
leid.
Yeah, you're just trying to protect.
It's very
Drake the
kind of you.
Village.
Ahem.
Oh,
Diskutieren,
you know about
was Schwein.
That's it.
Oh,
But the bridge.
So,
Ah, wir müssen,
yes,
stimmt, wir
it
müssen erst
took a-
dahin.
I also asked them to provide a boat at the path to the lock. The ferryman will let you use it free of charge. That should make it easier for you to move from.
Thanks, Popola. I feel like you've done so. I'm really grateful. All right.
And for the.
Ja, wobei, für die kurze Szene brauche ich jetzt auch nicht das Thumbnail wechseln. Wenn ich sagen, he's back und dann. Keine Ahnung, eigentlich hätte ich einfach nur schwarzen Text. Oh mein Gott, jetzt verstehe ich was. Oh mein Gott, jetzt verstehe ich, was Jimmy meint. Wir hatten Diskussion über das Thumbnail und ich, war mir nicht sicher, was ich
Half
machen
above the
sollte.
entrance to the shopping district.
Meinte nur das erste, aber mit ganz viel random Textzeilen.
excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
Auf jeden Fall, jetzt verstehe ich, warum er meinte random Textzeilen. Ich hatte ja total vergessen, dass du am Anfang ewig viel lesen musst. So, jetzt weiß ich nicht, ob dort, wo ich jetzt hingehe, ob es so viele Highlight-Items gibt. Ob die das so gedroppt haben. Mal gucken. Ah, fuck. Ja, stimmt. Der Weg war ja ganz dumm. Upsi.
Everything in working order?
Yeah, Vice. I'm good.
Your health is diminished. Do be more careful next time.
Do be more careful next time. Alright. Oh, thank you. Ah, Jesus. Ich will schon gar nicht mehr reden. Aber ein bisschen mache ich trotzdem noch.
Dass mal ein bisschen was passiert ist.
Hey, look who it is. Remember me?
That red bag.
Hey,
Sure has.
Hey, guck mal, wie er noch lebt.
Apparently I did a pretty good job with it because they decided to make me the permanent ferryman.
oh yeah, huh?
Thanks. Still, it's not all
Yeah.
puppies and unicorns. The old ball and chain is always harping on me now. Anyway, if you got a place to be, just let me know and I'll take it.
Ja, Lost Shrine. Please. Hallo, winkt Jonah zurück. Da ist es warm. Boah, wie geht... Ich gehe hier wirklich ein bei der Hitze.
The lost shrine's up ahead, just past this cave.
As well as the Shadow Lords.
Let us make
Let us make haste. Ah. Es ist eigentlich Zeit, ein Sommeranime oder so zu schauen. Ein richtiges Sommerspiel zu spielen. Für die Atmosphäre. Oh. Oho. Ja, willkommen zu dem Playthrough, in dem man die Shades wirklich verstehen kann. Und glaub mir, das wird alles so viel schlimmer machen. Das wird alles so viel schlimmer machen. Das ist gar nicht mal so witzig. Aber mit dem Thumbnail nicht gelogen. So. Same old. Hier waren diese Vogelgegner, die einem einfach auf den Sack gehen. Die man eigentlich gar nicht bekämpfen brauchte. Oh, ich muss den Boss im Dorf wieder machen, da erinnere ich mich gerade dran. Mit mein wenig Maki. Ja, ich sollte mir mal aufmachen, irgendwie eine Waffe zu upgraden, nicht sobald ich es kann wieder. Was ja erst wieder freischalten muss. Oh, Jesus, fuck, ich Idiot. Sind die Gegner gar nicht da? Oder kommen die erst, wenn man hier hingeht, wenn man zum Shadow Lord vorangeht? Anscheinend letzteres. Hansel is dead. There is no reason for me to exist anymore. My life is over. Just leave me alone. What?
Ain't you excited, sunshine? You finally get to bathe in blood.
Don't talk to me.
I want to kill so bad I can barely stand it.
Ja, und jetzt hören wir auch Tywin. Ist das nicht schön? Falsche Taste die ganze Zeit. Kreis, warum gebe ich mir Mühe? Ja, eine der Änderungen. Also es wird mit dem Playthrough weniger, aber dafür gibt es ja jetzt halt auch neue Szenen. Ich bin mir eigentlich ziemlich sicher, dass diese Feuerszene gar nicht... Oder? Gab's diese... Weil, andererseits war ich doch mich erinnern zu können, dass sie doch mal da saßen. Alle Feuer. Ich hatte halt immer das Bild, aber es ist... Was denkt man sich sonst? Die machen sich ein Lagerfeuer und dann schlafen die dort. Ja, wie gesagt, das zum Beispiel das mit Gretel und so, das ist eine neue Routenszene. Die gab es auch schon... Die gab es halt auch schon im Original. Aber es ist halt eine neue Szene dieser Route. Gebo, wow. Wow, richtig schlechtes Wort. Oh, ich kann keine Strength Capsule mehr tragen. Nicht, dass ich die jetzt hier für die Gegner wirklich bräuchte. Heilung vielmehr. Damit kannst du mich. Das kannst du mir geben. Schiebe Puzzles! Puzzles! Puzzles. So, das... Ah, den kann ich nicht bewegen. So, du einmal runter, bitte. Ja, kann die Tür mal noch nicht öffnen. Reicht das vielleicht? Nein, nochmal runter. Jetzt kann ich die Tür öffnen. Ich würde es ja verstehen, wenn ich sie nach außen nicht öffnen könnte. Oh shit. Oh shit. Falsche Taste. Ah ja, ich muss irgendwie wieder reinkommen. Aber es sollte jetzt auch wirklich nicht zu kompliziert sein. Mal kurz gucken. 3, 3, 3, 3. Ja, ist wirklich nicht so viel. Laut Jimmy ist das, also zumindest auf hart Merkmal, dass die Gegner doch ein bisschen stärker sind. Aber wahrscheinlich einfach ein bisschen stärker für ihr Level. Ich denke mal, die würden auch mehr Erfahrungspunkte geben, oder? Heil mich, yeah! Emil, du bist mein Boy! Okay, das ist einfach nur möglich. Unlösbar. Du kommst nach hier hin. Ja, was soll ich von diesem Puzzle jetzt halten? Das ist ja... Ne? Ah, ich hab's verkackt. Aber wie gesagt, war auf jeden Fall eine lange Zeit, seitdem wir das letzte Mal nie hatten. Oh mein fucking Gott, wenn das Jonas oder Jimmy sehen. Wenn Jonas oder Jimmy das jetzt sehen würden, den Ruf würde ich nie loswerden. Oh mein fucking Gott. Oh, das reicht. Idiot, das reicht. Jonas und Jimmy schreien mich gerade in ihrem Geist an. Für das, was ich hier gerade abliefer. Ah, Schieberätsel. Je schwerer ihr seid, desto einfacher werdet ihr. Na, ganz einfach mache ich immer solche Fehler. So, dich schieben wir nach hier hin. Par excellence. So, machen wir noch dich eben hier hinschieben tun und dich ein bisschen hier schieben tun. Hey, spielt nicht in... Hey, seit 3 Minuten spielt Deutschland Portugal. Ich bin ab jetzt offiziell irrelevant.
What's with these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Say, I've heard of this. A cursed area
Was?
where incomplete shades gather.
Ah, Kreis! Verdammt nochmal, nicht Dreieck. Komm ich auf Dreieck. Conestra. Ah, er lag schon, naja. Ist mir gefallen und stirbt. Meine Stimme ist ganz schön geworden. Upsi. Stirb.
Geister. Nichts. Nichts als pure Enttäuschung. Runter mit dir. Immer warten, bis das große Blut spritzt. Dann kann man es machen. Dann kann man wegrollen. So, ein bisschen Heilung ist aber auf jeden Fall trotzdem nicht schlecht. Weiß wie doof ich mich noch anstelle. Oh, oh, Schieberitz. Oh. Doch nicht. Kleine Babys. Sicher. Aber wir wissen ja inzwischen, ne? Wir haben ja gelernt in der letzten Route, dass Shades die eigentlichen Menschen sind. Und jetzt überlegt doch für eine Sekunde, ne? Sie können anscheinend auch noch kommunizieren. Was sie alles so getan haben. Und dann überlegt mal. Das sind diese kleinen Shades. Die haben ein ganz bestimmtes Item. Was für ein Item, fragt ihr? Ja, halt, ne? Sowas wie... Also, ich meine, sowas wie... Ah, fuck. I don't know. Old School Book. Use Coloring Book. Yep. Fühlt sich auf einmal gar nicht mehr so gut an. So, Schieberätsel, hoffentlich das letzte. Oh mein Gott, das werden wir noch sehr oft lösen müssen, oder? Oh Gott, ich hätte wenigstens noch einmal durchkommen müssen. Hello there! Nein, mit Kreis rolle ich immer noch nicht. Emil, danke für die Heilung. Eigentlich brauche ich meine Zeit hier jetzt wirklich nicht zu verschwenden. Nicht, dass wir jetzt groß das geben. Ganz normales Herb, aber davon habe ich jetzt glaube ich auch schon ein bisschen. Ja. Ja, komm, gehen wir weiter. Na, können wir gar nicht, Die müssen jetzt sterben. Ah, fuck. Komm, kein Kreis drücken. Jesus, das passiert ja auf einmal. So. Oh, was ist denn? Ich hab's nicht mehr drauf. Das war's. Konntest du, danke. Danke. Und danke. So, jetzt kommt hier, glaube ich, ein Dicker nochmal. Genau, der ja irgendwie wohl nicht schlechtes Item droppt. Ah, ich komme! Er hat sich immer schon so gewehrt. Ich erinnere mich nicht daran, dass er sich so gewehrt hat. Nope, erinnere ich mich wirklich nicht dran. Was ist denn los? Doom! Stuck! Oh, wirklich? Oh.
Na tolle Scheiße. Ah, okay, das war jetzt wirklich unnötig. Kein einziger teleportiert. Ja, guck mal, Dude, ich weiß, dass du noch da oben bist. Ah, Tür. Gott. Das macht mich doch immer ein bisschen garstig. Wolltest du mich damit heilen gerade, Emil, oder was war der Plan davon? Ja, wie gesagt, immerhin muss ich die Sachen hier nicht nochmal lösen. Ah, wenn ich meinen Shit verloren, dann wäre ich so like, what? What's the crack? Das ist nicht okay. Das will ich nicht. Hey, ja, guck mal. Schieberätsel. So, wunderbar. Oh, cool. Danke. Darf ich weiter? Danke sehr. Just passing through. So, wo waren wir? Ach, hallo. Der Lebensleist ist verschwunden. Ist ja herrlich. Und droppen tust du nicht mal was. Was ein toller Dude. Ja, wie gesagt, ich denke mal, dass meine Aufgabe für mich ist jetzt den Boss machen und dann. Guck mal.
Kaine, Emil, look, from now on, I'm going to sleep outside with you.
Why?
I can't accept that you aren't allowed in the village. It's stupid.
So you're staging a protest? Have fun.
Don't waste your time.
But it just feels wrong.
Well, that's really nice of you, but you still don't have to stay out here with us.
Emil.
You've got a super important mission. You can't sleep out in the rain. What if you catch a cold? Besides, I like camping with Kaine. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Emil, that's enough. I got a fucking image to maintain.
Ach, hilarious. Genau, da lang.
We seem to be surrounded by a mob of helpless puppies.
Just kick him aside.
Aber...
This is hardly that. This is.
Ich will nicht Letter schreiben. Ich will die fucking töten. Okay. Okay, machen wir das Ganze so. Einmal aufhängen, bitte. Fucking hell. Oh! Haltet nicht so viel aus! Bitte! Komm mal, drop! Broken Saw!
dachte, chill, die sind doch schon tot. Nee, der lebt doch! Unacceptable! So, let's go. Ja, ja. Sorry?
What's going on? There's dozens of them.
Erklärt zum Beispiel, warum da auch immer die ganz klein waren.
These are creatures of the darkness. Lure them to the light.
Ach ja, Dialog. Kann er noch nicht.
To the endless.
Aim for that statue. It's the leader.
Ja, aber dann mache ich hier keinen Schaden. Wir sind doch in der Cutscene. Ein Dialog. Oh Gott. Kann nicht. Das Spiel lässt mich nicht.
Oh, you're funny. I'm gonna start crying.
Bedenken mal, die Chance ist... ich bin mir nicht absolut sicher, aber soweit ich... Doch, keine versteht die. Die wurde es ja in der ersten Route schon gezeigt. Und sie musste sich den ganzen Shit anhören und trotzdem Killer sein. Ja. So, maybe we are the bad guys here. Ich würde es, obwohl ich es mehr benennen würde, als es gibt keine Bad Guys hier. Aber beziehungsweise zumindest keine Good Guys. Es gibt nur Soul Bad Guy. Nicht Baba Good Guy. Ne? Krasser Gegner. Mach ich doch easy. Beim ersten hatten wir auch noch nur das schwache Schwert. Nicht schwaches Schwert. Eine da mit dem meisten Schaden.
Have you felled the beast?
Not yet.
This is one stubborn son of a bitch.
Ui.
Damn it, damn it, damn it!
Hey there, Sunshine. You ain't feeling bad for this week, are ya? Ain't no turning back now. You got lust for blood. Embrace the slaughter. All we know is the thrill of battle. Ain't that right, Kaine?
Soll ich wieder angreifen? Oh Gott, in dieser Szene kann ich die Gegner jetzt sehen. Oh Gott. In dieser Szene kann ich dir jetzt noch länger keinen Schaden machen. Ja. Komm. Beenden das Ganze so schnell. No match for me! That works for me! Oh no! Not again! Don't do the Dante!
Oh, you're kidding me!
Heine!
Das ist für keine! Again!
Kaine! Are you alright? Kaine!
I fear there is little we can do for her.
Hat's ja gelohnt, sie zurückzuholen.
No!
Again.
Kaine!
What is happening?
It's all over for you, sunshine.
Kaine! Kaine!
Hey! Again!
It's Kaine's shade!
With no other choice, we must strike it down.
Kaine! Come back!
Now, pin her down.
Bin dabei. Stimmt, hat die einfach direkt zurückgeholfen.
Kaine, please! Come back to us!
Oh shit! So schnell kann ich das doch gar nicht machen. Nicht mal ich. Ja, stimmt. Dieser krasse Bosskampf, den...
Oh dear.
Ey, stimmt, dieser es gibt Achievements für wie schnell du das machst.
Kaine! Kaine!
Wie schnell du, ob du den Boss in 1 Minute oder 1 Minute 30 oder so besiegst. Ja, ich hab den davor aber dann nicht geschafft. Upsa.
Kaine!
I couldn't hold it back. I can't be with...
We're always going to be together, Kaine. If you transform again, we'll just stop it again. As many times as it takes. I don't care how tough it is. We're gonna get you back. I like sleeping outside because I'm with you, Kaine. I'm able to ignore my appearance and keep going because of you. I'm weak and I'm sad and I'm lonely, but you make me strong. You're my friend and I need you. So don't you dare leave me.
All right. Stop crying. And thanks. I'm all right.
Over there.
Over there! Und da haben wir's. MacGuffin. Ein Teil davon.
What is this?
It's me. It's got some kind of writing on it, but I don't know what it says.
How remarkably useless of you.
How remarkably useless of you, you little shit!
It's a cipher of some kind.
Can you determine its meaning?
I think this is the key to unlocking the Shadow Lord's castle. Here, take a look at this. I wrote down all the words I can understand. This fragment is called the Stone Guardian. Given that you found it in the Lost Shrine, the words must mean something. There are spaces here for 4 other fragments as well.
Da wissen wir, Poetry Loyal Cerberus, Junkie, Pause of Myth, ja.
If we want to fill in the words, we just run around the...
Oh, splendid. By all means, let us undertake a murderous rampage.
Yes!
Shades.
Ah,
that's
that
the
NieR.
only way.
It's a dangerous task.
Yeah, well, Yona's in even more danger.
But how can you even be sure that she...
Because she is! Right? The Junk Heap and the Forest of Myth, yeah? I'm on my way.
Please be careful. Oh, and listen. The villagers know how much they've sacrificed, and they're thankful. I'll hurry them along the best I can. But can you please give them a little more time?
I'll try.
Okay, let's go save. Ich bin fertig nach dem Vorlesen. Eigentlich muss ich noch mal erledigen, wofür ich jetzt schon zu spät bin. Naja, naja. All in time. Junkie.
Popola said we might be able to find a...
Perhaps we can find a...
Und dann muss ich noch mal vorlesen. Und dann kriegt er bestimmt nochmal Dialog, nochmal lange Dialogszenen oder so. Ding ist halt, ne, ich habe ja viel weiter als irgendwo im B nicht mehr gemacht. Heißt, in kürzester Zeit ist alles blind, aber das ist ja fürs Erste irrelevant. Denn das war's ja heute, meine Damen und Herren. Also alle, die nicht da sind. Ne? Und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal bei... Ja, steht keine Ahnung, was wir morgen machen. Gucken wir mal. Ja. Ach, ich wollte gerade über PlayStation beenden. Gott.